Hey everyone, and welcome. We've all been in this spot, right? You buy something new, something you're really excited about. You get it home, and it's broken. The big question is always, okay, who has to fix this? The company that actually made it, or the store that sold it to you? Well, the answer might actually surprise you. Let's dig into a case that pretty much settles the debate.
I mean, really think about that. You go back to the store, you've got your receipt, and they just shrug and say, sorry, not our problem. You got to call the manufacturer. Does that feel right? Is that even allowed? Well, a recent court case gives us a very, very clear answer.
So, our story kicks off with a super normal situation in Mumbai. A customer is just trying to beat the heat, so they go to a big, well-known retailer to make a pretty major purchase. It's a scene that could happen to literally any of us.
And we're not talking about a small purchase here. We're talking about 70,000 rupees. That's for 2 brand new BlueStar air conditioners from a big store, Reliance Digital. I mean, that's a serious investment for your home, and you absolutely expect it to work. And there it is. Not even a year later, one of the brand new units just stops doing the one thing it's supposed to do. The cool air vanishes, and you can just imagine the frustration setting in. Now, the product is well within its warranty, so this should be a simple fix, shouldn't it?
So the customer does exactly what you or I would do. They play by the rules. They get in touch with the manufacturer, BlueStar, and they file a warranty claim. All they want is to get this broken unit fixed or replaced. Seems pretty straightforward, right?
And check out how this whole thing starts so well, and then just hits a brick wall. So the AC stops working. A claim is raised. The manufacturer, BlueStar, actually does the right thing and says, yep, we'll replace the whole unit. Awesome. But then, crickets. The retailer, Reliance Digital, the store that's supposed to help make this happen, just does nothing. And this is where the whole story just takes it nosedive. Instead of, helping the person who gave them money, the retailer decides to just wash their hands of the whole situation. They don't just drag their feet. They actively argue that they have absolutely zero responsibility here. So this sets up a complete standoff. On one side, you have the customer thinking, hey, the store that took my money should probably help me when the product they sold me fails. Makes sense. But on the other side, the retailer is arguing, look, our job ended the second you walked out the door. So who's actually right here?
The retailer even made some pretty wild claims to try and back this up. First, they argued the buyer wasn't even technically a consumer under the law. Then they said their only job was the sale itself. And get this, they even had the nerve to claim the customer was being unreasonable for expecting any help from them.
So, totally fed up, the customer takes their case to the Consumer Commission. This is a legal group set up to handle exactly these kinds of fights. And, well, let's just say the commission had a very different take on the retailer's duties.
First off, the commission found the retailer guilty of something called deficiency in service. Now, this is a really key idea. It basically means a seller's job isn't just to take your money. They have to provide a decent standard of support. So their failure to act, the fact they didn't even try to help, was a violation all on its own, completely separate from the broken AC. And they weren't done. The commission also called the retailer's blame game an unfair trade practice. See, in the eyes of the law, telling a customer it's not my problem when you sold them the faulty item is actually a deceptive tactic. It's designed to make you just give up, and the commission totally called them out on it. So the verdict was a slam dunk. Reliance Digital was ordered to replace that broken AC and do it immediately. But that's not all. They also had to pay the customer 10,000 rupees for all the trouble they caused, and another 5,000 to cover their legal bills. This was a total win for the consumer.
Okay, so you might be thinking, great story for that one person, but what does this have to do with me? Well, this case isn't just about one broken air conditioner. It actually sets up a powerful protection that applies to every single one of us every time we buy something.
And this right here is the legal knockout punch. The commission pointed to a Supreme Court ruling that says everyone in the supply chain, the company that makes the product, the distributor, and yep, the store that sells it to you, they all share the responsibility. The magic words are jointly liable. That means they're all on the hook, together.
So if there is one thing you remember from all of this, let it be this. The store where you buy something cannot just pass the buck. They can't just point fingers and walk away. They took your money, and because of that, they share in the responsibility for the thing they sold you, period.
Look, what this really does is it empowers all of us as consumers. It's legal proof that you have a right to get help from the seller, not just a sales receipt. So the next time you're about to make a big purchase, just remember this. Your rights don't end the second you swipe your card. It really makes you think, doesn't it? Knowing this, are you going to approach things differently?